Hey, do you know that before you become candies with the letter S, Skittles look as not the most pleasant sticky dough, or the fact that frozen pizza is baked when temperature exceeding 300 degrees. The manufacturing process of many products which we see every day in stores, much more unusual, more difficult than you could think. Today you have a great chance be convinced of this, because in this go Skittles. It's hard to find a person who would not have heard of Skittles sweets. They are not only to the liking of millions people around the world, but also became whole meme, and Skittles triangle and rainbows, knows everyone. But here's how these candies are made on factory, not everyone knows. Let's fix it. Skittles production starts at the mixing station. Here 5 large mixers are made from various ingredients and flavors, 5 signature Skittles flavors. This stage is one of the most important precisely because of its taste, candy loved by many people. At this stage future Skittles looks like sticky dough. It should be so, because the mass is not yet placed in forms. When the mass is placed in forms it hardens. The mass is sent to the apparatus, which pushes it with a nipple and throws it out on the conveyor. Already in the form of sweets on this stage of the candy is approximately uniform in color, yellow or orange. Now for candy it is necessary to apply a layer that will give them the same crust required for a bite, but the main thing is that these layers paint candies in different colors, thanks to which all Skittles packaging and looks like a rainbow. Individual apparatuses are responsible for individual colors. Dyed and the candies are sent to general collection, after which they spill out on common conveyor, so they mix, and finally final stage adding a branded letter S to sweets. From a common conveyor, sweets are delivered to special tape on which there is something like honeycomb. Candy falls into these honeycomb holes, and at that time, how the candies spin on the tape, the apparatus applies the letter S for each candy. Further product passes quality control, is packed and goes to the store. Gum. I think everyone adored in childhood chewing gum. Many now for sure they like to put a couple of pads in their mouths to occupy the jaw. Gum common and cheap product, but have you ever wondered how it is done process? Very interesting, by the way. Chewing gum consists of a rubber bases, sweeteners and flavors. Initially all ingredients are prepared before mixing. After all necessary ingredients for production-specific gum are selected, weighed and separated, they are mixed in a large mixer, whereas a mixture of rubber base, sweeteners, flavors conducts about 40 minutes. The result is a mass, dough. Like dough of a similar mass removed from the mixer, after which the apparatus. The result is a mass, dough. Like dough of a similar mass removed from the mixer, after which the apparatus. The next mixture should not be allowed mixed with the previous one, otherwise it will the taste texture of the dough is disturbed. More dough unloaded into a special container, which goes further to the extruder and extrude. These cars again mix the mass and then roll out the layers, are like a mechanical rolling pin. After reaching a certain thickness the dough is cut longitudinally and transverse rollers. At the exit you get plates that are easy divided into pads. After that they're taken to the control point for measurements. Their workers measure the length and the width of the plates. If something is not complies with the standards, the batch is considered defective and is sent for processing. If the parameter check is passed, then the records go to the cold warehouse. There they are aged until 3 days and harden, then the plates go to a special car, which breaks them down into separate tablets. This apparatus is similar to washing machine. The suspension is fed into a special drum, water, sweetener and flavorings. Powerful flow of dry air removes water, and the suspension covers the plates in about 40 layers. So chewable the elastic takes on its final appearance and consistency. All that remains is to pack and send the rubber bands to the store. Corn sticks, a favorite delicacy of many children. It is clear that this is very tasty. The appetizer is to the liking and many adults. It seems that the recipe corn sticks were taken out for a very long time and scrupulous, but in fact it is a delicacy happened by accident. In the end 19th century Kellogg brothers who owned sanatoriums in the United States not while cooking, we examined the dish with using maize flour. In order not to throw away the resulting porridge, they tried to make dough out of it, pushing through the rollers. The dough does not it worked, but it turned out flakes, frying them in corn oil. Brothers accidentally created the now familiar to everyone delicacy. Now, of course, the production of corn sticks has strict algorithm and rules. Corn sticks are foamed, a mixture of corn grits and water that undergoes special processing and dried. The raw materials for this product is harvested immediately in large quantities, since the entire technological process does not exceed an hour. As for the process itself, it consists of several stages. First, the preparation of cereals is carried out. Ground cereals are sieved, mixed with salt and connect with water. In this form the mass aged for several minutes for an even distribution of moisture. Then the mixture is fed into the extruder for production of corn sticks, wherein as a result of great pressure and exposure to high temperature become plastic. After processing, mass resembling foam dough falls on a die with holes, through which it is squeezed out and trimmed with the knife, resulting in the product takes on the desired shape. Thereafter the product enters the drum, where the sticks are irrigate with heated vegetable oil and sprinkle with icing sugar. Finally, the finished products are packaged in plastic bags or cardboard boxes using a special devices and then shipped to stores. Gummy bears. Traditional composition. Both large and regular chewing gummy bears is a mixture of sugar, glucose syrup, starch, flavorings, citric acid and gelatin. However, recipes from different manufacturers are subject to change. For meat-specific preferences of different groups of people, for example vegetarians or people who adhere to special dietary or religious prescriptions. In the production of marmalade gummy bears and gummies other forms, a special starch press machine picture gummy bear is imprinted in special tray-filled powdered starch, then in the resulting recess is poured hot, liquid mixture. Then it is left to cool for a few hours. After the mixture hardens, candies are removed from the mold and packaged. Molds have an open top, therefore, during the manufacturing process, only the front part, while the backrest remains flat. By the way, an interesting fact, design for each sweet is developed artist from plaster in full size, after which the created design is duplicated machine. Small and big gummy bears made with the use of beef, pork or fish gelatin is generally not suitable vegetarians. Besides pork gelatin candies contradict some religious, dietary norms. For this reason, in his factory in Turkish company Haribo manufactures beef gelatin gummy bears, which does not contradict halal norms. And in some gummies gelatin is completely replaced by pectin or starch, which makes them suitable for consumption by vegetarians. Frozen pizza. For the production of frozen pizza requires many machines. Dough, the base of any pizza, made from flour and yeast, by adding salt and sugar. All this in a large mixer, mix with water, vegetable oil. For flavor add corn flour. During the mixer mixes for 4 minutes ingredients. The dough reaches about half an hour, then it is passed through a slicer device that divides mass by smaller pieces. They are moved by rolling machines, which rolls the dough flat sheet 2.5 thick centimeter. Thanks to the powder, the future is frozen. The pizza does not stick to the surface of the machine. Rollers ensure uniform the consistency of the dough, and a special brush smooths it and evens out surface. Now needles come into play from stainless steel. They pierce the dough to a depth of 7 to 10 millimeters. These holes will not allow to form air bubbles. Inside big plastic roller with multiple cuts the dough into round shaped separate pizzas. Special device automatically separates the clippings later on mixed with fresh dough next party. It should be noted that the quality of the pizza it won't make it worse. The conveyor then sends the circles from the dough to the oven. Pizza bake for 2 minutes at temperature from 200 to 315 degrees Celsius. Thermal conditions inside carefully controlled so that the dough is baked evenly. Next stage, kneading with tomato sauce from a special container. It is pumped watering into the reservoir while roller rotating inside. Its remains flow down and fall into storage tank. At this time of its turn already waiting for shredded cheese, and finally from large storehouses mountains of sausages and ham and other meat additives are loaded into special stackers. Meat products go to pizza after tomato sauce and cheese. The pizza is ready for inspection. The workers carry out quality control and also evaluate is the equipment measured correctly the amount of ingredients. If everything is in okay, the pizza goes to the freezer where he spends 20 minutes at a temperature just below -30 degrees Celsius. Then the wrapping machine wraps each pizza with cling film and cuts it. On to the final stage, the last flaws and defects. If not, then the pizza is final packed and sent to stores.